everyone, and welcome back to Riding with Rob. And today we're going to talk about exhaust systems, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to start off talking about axle-back exhaust systems. Now, an axle-back exhaust system is literally from the rear axle back, so most of the time it's just going to be a high-flow muffler, and sometimes they replace the pipe that goes to it also. You're not going to see performance gain out of this. I'm sorry to tell some of you guys that, but you're not going to see any gains in performance with it. What you will see is that your car is going to be a little bit louder and you're going to have that really nice muffler sticking out the back. I mean, it is what it is. So if that's what you're looking for, you're one of these show car guys that just wants, your car to be a little bit louder, but you really, are looking for that nice muffler tip coming out the back. That's what you get. You get an axle-back system. Save your money. You don't need a full catback. Now, if you are looking for a little bit of performance out of maybe your daily driver, I definitely recommend going with a catback system because, oh man, there is just traffic everywhere. Trying to get to work, I'm running late. Traffic, of course. Everywhere you go, traffic. But, so if you're looking to get a little bit of performance and maybe the car is, your daily driver or something like that, then I definitely recommend getting a I just totally cut this dude off on my ass. I definitely recommend getting a catback system. You're going to get, all that piping is going to be just a little bit bigger. It's going to flow a lot better, especially if you get name brand stuff that's mandrel bent. Stuff that isn't mandrel bent, and the main difference between that, a mandrel bent tube you'll see is just a nice bend. The pipe is completely straight. Something that's not mandrel bent, that's just regular bent, like at some of these cheaper exhaust stores, you're going to see that on the inside of the curve of the pipe. So if the pipe's bending like this, on the inside here, it's going to be wrinkled up. And on the outside, the metal's going to be a lot thinner because it's just stretching and pushing that metal. Whereas a mandrel bend takes it and keeps it an equal amount of metal all the way around that corner. Can give you a much much more high quality product, and it's going to flow a lot better and a lot smoother. Now, once you want to move past the catback exhaust system, if you're looking into a header back system, I'd recommend just going for a complete system. Go from the headers all the way back. Get a nice set of headers, get a high flow catalytic converter, especially if it's a car that you're not going to be running a tune on, or something that you're going to be daily driving. I would highly recommend getting a sorry, this Honda does not accelerate with the AC on. I would definitely highly recommend getting a high flow catalytic converter. Now, if you are running a tune, which I highly recommend that you do, you can get away with without a catalytic converter. You can get away with it. Now, there are some tricks to the trade of getting away with taking out your catalytic converter and still having your car run mostly right, but at the very least keeping your check engine light off. Now, you'll put the test pipe in, and these test pipes usually have an O2 bung, which is just the place where the O2 sensor screws into. Nothing too fancy there, but if you're not going to be running either a wideband rear O2 sensor, which is kind of a waste of money, or a tune, which would allow you just to plug that hole and not have to run the catalytic converter, what you can do is you can go to the auto parts store and they get what they call spark plug foulers. Now, they come in a little set. There's a few different sizes, and you should be able to, in that set, from my experience, I've always been able to find one that fit. Never had a real problem with it. Come on, dude. Fucking Jettas, man. And what that'll do is basically it's like a little pot that the O2 sensor is going to sit in with a small hole at the end. Now, this is supposed to foul out a spark plug for completely different reasons. That's a discussion for a different day, and it's kind of a dumb one. But it's got a little hole in the end of it, and it's just going to allow the stock O2 sensor to only see a little bit of the exhaust gas like it's used to with the catalytic converter being there, so then it'll read normal, it'll keep the check engine light off for the most part. It may set it off once or twice, here or there. Now, reason why eliminating the catalytic converter is such a good thing as far as performance-wise goes is because the catalytic converter is basically like honeycomb-shaped metal, and your exhaust has to pass through that, and because of the different metals, they react differently with the exhaust gases, and you get cleaner exhaust gas on the way out. Now you remove that restriction, and you've got a much more easily flowing exhaust. Now I do want to start off this portion with a little bit of a warning. Do not use too big of a pipe. There is such thing as a too big of an exhaust pipe, and I can't stress this enough. You see a lot of these guys, they're going to be running, you know, a full 3-inch exhaust on their stock Honda Civic, and you're like, you're hurting the performance. You really are. And the reason why is because the exhaust system isn't just a steady stream of exhaust like a lot of people think. It's not just one continuous exhaust stream. As each cylinder fires and pushes out the exhaust, you get this kind of like putt, 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 putt. I mean, and obviously that's in a lot slower time than what an engine's going to run at, but you get my drift. So as that exhaust from cylinder number 1 is leaving your header, it's going to put a suction on the rest of your exhaust system. Now, at that point is when you're going to start getting into the difference between 4 to 1, a 4 to 2 to 1 type of header. But basically, it's going to create suction on the rest of the cylinders, or whichever pipe it's connected to. It's going to create suction there. So when that cylinder fires, it's going to rapidly pull that out, and it's going to push that the rest of the way and then come back. And it kind of does a rocking motion back and forth as the cylinders are firing. Now, I know this is a little bit complicated, maybe even a little bit weird to some of you, but it really comes down to mathematics. Now, there's a great book out there called Car Math, and it'll give you all the formulas you could ever want for doing exhaust, engine building. It gives you formulas on how to figure out your 0 to 60 time without actually doing anything, figuring out your horsepower, and that sort of thing. So, I mean, when you get into full performance exhausts, really take the time to look up and do the formulas and the maths. And also, like I've stressed before, and I can't stress this enough, get a tuning system. Every part that you buy after you buy a tuning system will be 100 times better because you can tune the car to accommodate for that part. In a couple days here, I'm going to actually do a show. We're going to talk about different tuning solutions and the difference between piggyback and chips and standalones and things like that. But yeah, I can't stress that enough. Get your car tuned. If you're going to do a full exhaust system, because you're looking for that, most amount of performance you can get out of your car, get it tuned. Delete the catalytic converter, regardless if it's against the law or not. Get it tuned so it can pass emissions. And that's really what it boils down to. Okay, so let's just sum up real quick. You got your axle back systems, and that's for show cars. You got your cat back systems, and I would recommend those for your daily driver. You're looking to get a little bit extra performance out of it, not much. And then full exhaust systems for your track day cars, your race day cars, and maybe even if it is your daily driver, but you take it to the track on the weekend, I would recommend a full system going from the header back. One quick tip I wanted to give, and I almost forgot, so thank you for reminding me, viewer number 11. And that is buying eBay exhaust systems. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, I bought this eBay header, and it looked really nice. I put it on my car. 3 months later, it was rusty. Yes, this happens. And the reason why is because, well, there's 2 reasons here. Now, the reason why it rusts is because there's no coating on it. When you get something from HKS, AEM, Engine, they're going to put, some type of clear coat coating on it. They might even do a ceramic coating over top of it. Now, if you're going to buy an eBay header, it's just as good as, these brand name headers. The difference is there's no coating on it. And the fact that they didn't do the research themselves, they're just, this is how the other part looks, so let's copy it. Now, they may not have the exact copy, and it may not perform as well as the initial part, but you can still get a decent amount out of these parts by just simply coating them. You can go down to the auto parts store. You can pick up, they have high heat paint in clear coat, so you can paint it, or you can paint it black in a high heat black. They have that kind of stuff. They also sell in a spray can a ceramic coating, a clear coat of ceramic coating. Now it's not as awesome as it would be to fully dip it in ceramic coating, but that's expensive. And if you're, going to the auto parts store, obviously you're looking for something that's not expensive. This is inexpensive. You spray it down, let it dry for a couple days, and it's going to stay looking nice. It's not going to rust up. You're going to get a longer life out of it, and you're going to get a better performance out of it. Now, the reason why you're going to get a better performance out of it is because that paint or that ceramic coating that you're using on the outside, and this is why, it's also a reason why you should, use exhaust wrap if you're really going for performance and not look, is because that metal gets hot. And by getting hot, it's soaking up the heat from the exhaust system. When that metal stays cooler and doesn't soak up that heat, the exhaust is pushed through quicker because it doesn't have any place to sit. It's not soaking in anywhere. It's just pushing straight through. It basically acts almost like a lubricant. You got hot gas coming against cold metal that's staying cold. It's just going to straight over it. It's going to keep on going. Now, if it's a hot exhaust system and doesn't have anywhere to go, it's going to stick. It's not going anywhere. That basically wraps up my show on exhaust systems. If you have any questions, concerns, complaints, requests, feel free to leave me comments, emails, whatever you want to do. Thanks for tuning in.